What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Wavy Eddie, and I'm back again with another video, bro. Listen, I gotta tell y'all something. I've been working with Johnny from Make Yourself Famous, along with other creators, on this project for a couple months now. Johnny reached out to me with this project, and I was like, you know what? Let's do it, bro. Like, I was down. And this is it, bro. We got the 2025 Pro Wrestling Freshman List, bro. If y'all are not familiar with the XXL Freshman List that comes out almost every year for rap, it's basically a bunch of rappers that are up and coming and have a very bright future ahead of them, and they get put on this platform, XXL, and they get to showcase their talent, right? And we kind of wanted to do this same thing for pro wrestlers, where we have a pro wrestling freshman list where we have a bunch of up and coming young pro wrestlers that are not big names in big companies yet and haven't won like world championships in big companies yet, but they are on the brinks of it happening in the next year or so. So without further ado, let's get to this video, bro.
What if pro wrestling had its own freshman list? That's what I've been working on for the last year. Here it is. You see, my obsession for professional wrestling has led me to the career that I have today, but growing up, I was just as obsessed with rap. And one thing I always wanted to do was to create my own wrestling version of the XXL freshman list. For those unaware, the XXL freshman list is an annual magazine list to predict the upcoming rappers in the industry. Starting in 2007, it has highlighted so many names like Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Mac Miller, Wale, Kid Cudi, and it's helped catapult careers. And while the predictive list may not have the gravity that it used to, I still think that it is a tremendous concept that I wanted to bring over to the wrestling world.
And bro, honestly, shout out to Johnny for this, because he's been doing this for a couple of years now. And bro, like, honestly, I really hope that this list brings more eyes to these pro wrestlers, because bro, when I tell y'all that these pro wrestlers that we have on this list, they deserve, you know, all the success that they're going to get in the future. And you know, I just hope that with this list and with this video that we get more eyes on their work, and you know, we get to see them excel it on to the next level. So, you know, like Johnny said, you know, XXL, we had Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole on the freshman list, and look at how their careers turn out. Honestly, I hope this happens a lot with the pro wrestlers that we're going to add on these lists this year and maybe other years to come. And yeah, bro, we're just trying to bring more eyes to the pro wrestling world, bro, honestly.
So I, along with many other creators that you will hear throughout this video, have worked over the last year to create our own pro wrestling freshman list. We have been profiling wrestlers on the indies, international, and even the mainstream stage. Yep. The list consists of 10 wrestlers and a fan-voted-in wrestler. I cannot describe to you how much of a struggle it was to eliminate so many names, because the wrestling world currently is thriving in all areas. But I'm
dog, bro, when I tell y'all, he is so right with the amount of wrestlers that we all put in, like all the creators that were on this project, bro. I came up to him and I gave him like 10 to 15 wrestlers to put on this list, right? And I don't know how many wrestlers that the other creators put on, but I'm pretty sure it was a lot. So having to cut down that list to 10 wrestlers and then have one that was voted in by the fans, like, yo, it was a struggle, because every wrestler that we had, you know, on our drafts, like, they're capable of being on this list. Like, that's all I gotta say. And that's not like a knock to them, but we just had to cut it down to 10 or 11. And bro, yeah, it was a struggle, because the pro wrestling industry is booming right now.
I'm very proud of this list. I'm very excited to talk about every single member of this list. So let's get into the 2025 Pro Wrestling Freshman List.
This is Leon Slater. I think this one was the one that was voted in by the fans. But yeah, bro, Leon Slater, oh, bro. He's a freaking gem of a talent, bro.
And what a better way to start than the fan favorite, Leon Slater. We placed so many names for fans to vote in on who they believed should be a part of this list, and Leon Slater came out as the winner. From Bradford, England, the youngest in charge, Leon Slater has carved out a crazy path for himself as one of the pillars of the British wrestling resurgence. Already signed with TNA, teaming with his idol Jeff Hardy, and he's only 20 years old.
Damn.
Leon Slater is a prodigy. Slater found wrestling not from watching
I
a
did
match
not know
on
that he was
channel
only 20 years old.
Not
bro.
a clip online, but from the video games. SmackDown versus Raw 2008 to be exact. My personal favorite as well. I know everyone's a 2007 fan. I have a real connection to 2008. So does Leon.
All right, bro. We gotta... Listen, I love 2008 and I love 2007. But I think, in my opinion, I gotta give it to 2007, bro. Like, I love 2008. I was playing that shit a lot back when I was a kid. But, man, if we talking about one of the best SmackDown versus Raws of all time, bro, 2007 is up there, bro. Number 1. Top 3. Top 2, and it's not 2.
And that video game is the reason why we have one of the best young prospects in professional wrestling history. Slater found wrestling and hit the ground running.
That he
started
got this
training
out of...
at 9 years old.
What?
His favorites growing up were guys like Rob Van Dam, Shelton Benjamin.
9 years
and
old
of
is
course,
crazy, bro.
Jeff Hardy. It's easy to see the Jeff Hardy comps, as Slater's finisher is an ode to Hardy's Swanton, but he evolves it with a Swanton 450.
Bro,
it's one of the most insane moves I've ever seen.
Insane.
And despite seeing it a million times, I am still just starstruck and in awe and slightly confused on how he is able to stay in the air that long as he does this Swanton while also then mid-air changing it to a 450 splash. It's insane.
The athleticism is crazy.
Slater's resume has the likes of Will Ospreay, Speedball, Michael Oku, Josh Alexander, Konosuke Takeshita, and Mustafa Ali on it. Slater has wrestled the best of the best and proven that he is just as good. If you were to describe a blue chip prospect, I don't think that there is a blue chip prospect more fitting for that name in any sport than Leon Slater is to pro wrestling. And he's already going viral, as Leon Slater is doing dives like he is Jeff Hardy, and he is making fans wonder how he did that, why he would do that, and how he just got it.
He landed on the
more than
ground
just a generational
like
high flyer,
hard,
as he is one of the leaders of carrying the British scene back to prominence.
That must have hurt,
I imagine for the next 10 years, Leon Slater is going to be that representation for all of the high-flying kids, all the kids that grew up loving Jeff Hardy and Rey Mysterio, Rob Van Dam. He is going to be that representation that they can see weekly on their television. He is going to be a megastar in this industry. You heard it here first. Leon Slater is the first 2025 pro wrestling freshman.
And bro, I want to add, like, I watched Leon Slater for the first time ever at TNA Sacrifice. I believe it was a steel cage match. And dude, when I saw him wrestle that night, I instantly became a fan. Like, the stuff that he was doing in that match, like, I think he did like a cutter off the top of the steel cage or something, bro. I gotta go back and watch that match so I can, like, tell you exactly what happened. But I remember seeing some crazy athletic ass shit during that match and it was mostly from Leon Slater, and I was just amazed, bro. And then, you know, he has a lot of charisma. I saw him the next night after when they were doing the TNA tapings. Bro, his charisma is amazing. And I did see for myself, a lot of people from El Paso that were at Sacrifice that night, they were not, you know, they didn't really know who Leon Slater was. But after that weekend of TNA, the next night after Sacrifice, we had a bunch of people started cheering for him and started rooting for him because, bro, he just wins the fans over no matter what. And he's charismatic, and he has a very bright future ahead of him, bro. So
throughout this process, I have
looks like
found
Mao.
one of my new favorite wrestlers, and that is Mao.
Yeah.
The whole purpose of this list is to find somebody that people aren't really that aware of and see them grow and watch them become a big star. To me, that's Mao.
Yep.
Mao is punk rock in the form of professional wrestling. DDT's Wild Child Mao is a wrestler that awes fans with his quick-paced, high-intensity, hardcore style. And as he puts it, Mao brings fucked up wrestling for a fucked up world.
Bro,
Mao
Mao
began his wrestling career
Mao
playing
is
Fire
insane.
Pro Wrestling on the Game Boy Advance, another guy influenced by video games. Mao saw the moves on the video.
Bro, that's crazy. We're gonna see, and that's like, I feel like we're gonna get a lot of those pro wrestlers now where they're going to get influenced by video games, like the 2K games, you know. We're gonna get a lot of guys that were influenced by, you know, the SmackDown versus Raw video games, you know, that being the reason why they become pro wrestlers. And it's insane.
Video games and thought he can do the same. So while he was in the 7th grade, he was uploading moves that he was doing in his house that he learned from Fire Pro Wrestling onto YouTube. Mao's YouTube videos caught the eye of Sanshiro Takagi, and Takagi invited him to train.
Hey, y'all let me
with
know if y'all want me
DDT.
to react to
a
those
former
videos,
tag
bro.
partner with Speedball Mike Bailey with Moonlight Express, and a stablemate with Konosuke Takeshita.
If they're
Mao
still on
has
YouTube,
friends
let me know
in
if y'all
high
want me to watch
places
that.
And an extremely impressive resume. Mao has expanded from just being a DDT wrestler, though. He also has wrestled for places like GCW and now New Japan Pro Wrestling, as Mao has just debuted in the Best of the Super Juniors tournament.
Wow.
Now, I am recording this before the start of the Best of the Super Juniors tournament, but I'm very excited to see Mao. He is the main reason. I watch every year, but he is the main reason this year why I'm excited to watch this tournament. I think the reason why he
tune
jumps
in.
off the page to me is that he is completely unique. I know nobody that feels and looks like Mao. I mean, Mao is the cross between somebody that you would see in Jackass and Tony Hawk Pro Skater. It's
Bro,
different
is
from
that
Darby Allin.
Legos?
I know that you're thinking Darby Allin.
What the
He's got
fuck?
the daredevil of like just this aloofness to life and comedic style that Darby doesn't have, that fits more of like a Orange Cassidy. You might see Mao taking the DDT into a toilet bowl, jumping off of a house, or showcasing that he's one of the best junior heavyweights in one of the most prestigious competitions in the world. But one thing is for sure, when you see Mao, you will not forget him. Mao has comedy, hardcore,
He's
and
riding
high
a bike
flying.
in the
He's
ring.
an artist of chaos, but an artist nonetheless. This next year is going to be big for Mao.
Bro,
I
gotta-
think he
I gotta-
is one of the biggest risers
I gotta
of
look up
anyone
Mao, bro. I
outside
gotta-
of the big promotions in America.
He sounds-
And to be
he
honest,
sounds like a
I
very
wouldn't be
cool
surprised if he was
wrestler to
snatched
get
up
around with,
by
bro.
AEW by the end of the year. Maybe a Moonlight Express reunion. Maybe teaming with Brody King.
Ooh.
I see a lot of potential for Mao.
That's crazy because, like, Mao, I didn't know who Mao was. Like, and now watching this video, I'm like, dude, I want to get into watching some Mao now, bro. He's a hardcore wrestler, like, from what I can tell. And, like, I love hardcore wrestling. So, I really got to tune into Mao now, dude.
Arguably the biggest name on this list is Kevin Knight. In complete transparency,
Bro,
I actually would not have put
he's
Kevin
a
Knight
freaking
on this
gem.
list if we didn't already have him penciled
AEW
in
got
for the
themselves
last
a
year.
gem
We've been
with
very
Kevin Knight,
excited
dude.
to talk about Kevin Knight. He has been on the radar for us since the beginning, and we had already had him in, but God, is he getting a skyrocket push right now in AEW. We are so happy for him. We saw the potential before he was signed to AEW from his runs in New Japan, teaming up with Kushida, and his time in TNA, wrestling for Defy. Kevin Knight has been one that you should be looking out for the last few years. And Kevin Knight didn't just randomly get this push. He didn't just get placed into the spotlight randomly. He had to. Earlier this year, Knight became a free agent and had every company calling. However, while WWE was wanting him to try out, he opted to sign with AEW and New Japan on a double deal, and it has been proven to be the right decision so far. Knight has had a rocket strapped to his back ever since signing, from wrestling Jay White on his debut to teaming with Will Ospreay and facing off with the aerial assassin at AEW Dynasty in the first round of the Owen Hart.
Dude, that Will Ospreay match at Dynasty, If y'all haven't watched that match, it was insane. And you know, we know Will Ospreay is always gonna put on great matches. He just put on a fantastic match against Hangman Adam Page at Double or Nothing. And dude, Kevin Knight held up with one of the best wrestlers in the world. Watch the match. That's all I gotta say. Watch the damn match.
Foundation tournament. And he's $100,000 richer, at least in kayfabe. Not
Facts.
only is this a great showcase for talents coming into AEW that you can be pushed from the start, but it's also important for it to be the right wrestler.
Yep.
And they got it right with Kevin Knight. But I think that
He's
our
fantastic.
buddy Enigma could speak a little bit better to what might be in store for Kevin Knight's future in AEW.
I would love to see Kevin Knight join the Hurt Syndicate. For many people that
Shout out
say
to
that
my
they
boy
want
Enigma,
Cedric
bro.
Alexander to join AEW and reunite like the Hurt Syndicate full power, I say let Cedric tour the indies, do whatever, because not only can you have the Hurt Syndicate hurt people, yes, they can fly, as I believe Kevin Knight can be the next or the current gold standard. Pairing him with Shelton Benjamin would be
He
amazing. MVP could do all the talking,
He does remind me a lot of like Shelton Benjamin back in the day.
and that would push Bobby Lashley to be a man inventor. And now in AEW, Kevin Knight would get that experience. He would get that wisdom. He would
Right.
be able to
Facts.
take what he gains here and carry it on for the next 15 to 20 years.
I think Kevin Knight is the perfect example of when talent and hard work meets opportunity.
Yep.
He has all of the
Facts.
potential in the world, and the world is finally getting to see it.
We got
Wrestling
man
for
like the
characters,
Reese
but
out
Man
here,
Like
bro.
Reese is not just a character.
He's
or
a
gimmick.
he cooks.
He
He's
is
freaking
a
amazing.
fully ready star for the big stage.
He's a
but the
star,
Reese doesn't
dude.
just rap. He is truly an MC. He knows how to control the crowd. Arguably the most important thing in professional wrestling. We've seen a lot of bad rapping characters before, but not one like Man Like the Reese. Not one that felt so a part of who they are. And we've never really seen UK rap on the big stage. We've never really seen any grime influence on the big stage. And Men Like the Reese is absolutely going to be that first big representative.
Bro, I saw man like the Reese in Vegas during one of the GCW shows. It was this one, I believe. It was the Collective. Dude, he was phenomenal. I became a fan. Bro, that's why I got hyped when I saw man like the Reese in this video, bro. I became a fan. I became a fan when I saw him in Vegas, and yo, shout out to man like the Reese, bro. He's got a bright future ahead of him, dude.
Representation that we see. Another Brit Rest member on this list, just like Leon Slater, Men Like Reese was crucial
The
at
athleticism.
carrying the weight of a nation and helping to rebuild a once great scene, now back to thriving.
Yep.
DeReese doesn't just represent himself.
Shout out
he's
to British
currently
wrestling, bro.
representing a country, an art form, and is a voice that remains authentic and fun, giving England
It's
a
definitely
reason
coming back.
to be proud of professional wrestling. I don't even need to see them to know that he is going to be a star.
He has a
And look at the
lot of
crowd,
charisma, dude.
The energy that they give when DeReese comes out. That alone tells you that this dude is going to be huge someday. And that someday is going to be very soon.
I agree.
Saquon
Bro.
Sugars is a standout. Known former
Bro. Saquon Sugars. Now, I known him as like Lucky Ali from back when he was in like DPW and shit. And bro, Saquon Sugars, if booked right, the sky's the limit for him, dude.
formerly as Lucky Ali, making his name in DPW, it was a no-brainer that Saquon Sugars was going to be a star once he signed with the
Facts.
WWE.
Facts.
You can see Sugars now as a standout performer in the group Dark State. Dark State have taken over NXT, getting comparisons to the Shield in the way that they look, attack, and even the finisher is the same.
Yep.
However, there's a big difference between the Shield and Dark State, and it's the specific bravado, the specific chaos, the specific energy and confidence and tenacity that this group brings, and that's largely because of Saquon Sugars. It almost feels like Saquon is making up for lost time. See, Saquon would have been on this list last year if it wasn't for a horrible knee injury that took him out for nearly a year. While someone like Javon Evans, who he has wrestled all around the United States with, had an immediate jump to stardom in WWE, Saquon was forced to watch on the sidelines until now. It's not surprising at all, if you've seen his interviews and promos on DPW, that Sugars is the primary talker in Dark State. And wrestling seems to come as second nature to the guy. He literally has it all. Most of this list is to showcase wrestlers that are outside of the WWE circle.
What's crazy, bro, is that he makes this shit so
international
effortless, bro.
That are overlooked.
He makes it
but
seem
sometimes
so effortless.
WWE just gets their hands on the right guy, and Saquon Sugars is the right guy. All WWE has to do now is give Saquon the ball.
Yep.
I imagine that that's going to be one of the easiest decisions that WWE and NXT have ever made. This list is all about finding the it factors in professional wrestling, and Saquon is easily at the top of that list.
Facts. Riho, listen.
A 10-year vet, Rio is finally getting the recognition she deserves. Rio has proven to be one of the best young bright spots on the independent scene, and once again, another member of that British wrestling scene that she helped rebuild. Not too many women can match Rio in terms of power. Rio outmuscles legend.
Put her in NXT. That's all I'm going to say. Put her in NXT right now. NXT is one of the best women's divisions in the world. You know, they have one of the... Women's wrestling in NXT is insane right now. Same with AEW. They got some great women out there. They're probably like 1A, 1B in my opinion. But, dude, when we saw Riho on WWE TV as like one of the security guards or whatever, bro, I was like, I think she should be given a contract by the WWE and put her in NXT. And because Riho is a freaking juggernaut. Like, her power is insane. Her ability is insane. And, yo, she can be one of the top superstars on NXT or AEW. She decides to go that route. I believe Riho is that good.
Powerhoused her way through England, captured the Women's Progress Championship, and kept the title for 443 days, just missing out on the record held by Jenny. Rio is once again at the top of the English scene as she just reclaimed the Progress Women's Championship for the second time. There is a lot of talk after she had a WWE tryout that Riho may be the next NXT star. And while I have no idea if WWE will sign her, they should. They'd be crazy not to.
Facts.
Regardless of where she goes, she is going to be a star. Whether she decides to stay in England and being that pillar that holds up the British scene once again, if so many of these people are going to get signed, or if she decides to go to NXT and have bangers against Zarya and Sol Ruka, which I'd be very excited to see. Or she could fool us all. We could see her in AEW quite easily battling with the best of them, like Toni Storm, Mercedes Moné, and Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, Jamie Hayter. All of that would make sense. And I don't know if any of them can outpower Rio. I really am excited to see what is next for Rio in professional wrestling. Wrestling needs an underdog. That babyface that men, women, children can get behind, root for, defeat adversity, and that next star is a boy named Charlie.
Starboy Charlie, let's go.
Starboy Charlie is one that's been a big indie name for years.
Maybe I fuck with Starboy Charlie,
as
bro.
The Denim Dragon wrestles in overalls. Maybe it's the versatile moveset, somebody that can provide exciting flips and knows how to fight from underneath. Or maybe it's the TikTok edits of him. No joke. My best friend once texted me and asked me when he was going to see Starboy Charlie on TV. This is somebody that is not super tapped into professional wrestling, just a very casual viewer watching WWE from time to time. So I knew for a fact he wasn't checking out GCW. I knew for a fact that he wasn't watching West Coast Pro, where Starboy Charlie wrestles. So I asked, how the hell do you know who Starboy Charlie is? And his response was, I see the TikTok edits of him.
Bro.
Charlie, along with his best friend and tag partner Titus Alexander, are one of the biggest up-and-coming wrestlers on the West
They got
Coast scene.
so many
At just
TikTok
22
edits of
years
this
old
man,
in
bro.
West Coast Pro, he wasn't protected.
I'll be
as
seeing
just
him on my For
a
You
kid.
page too, bro.
He stood across from
It's
killers
crazy.
like GYV, Jonathan Gresham, Masha Slamovich, and still gave back what he got. But remember, I talked about that adversity. And unfortunately, Starboy Charlie had suffered a pretty gruesome broken leg back in 2021 in one of his matches, but he somehow returned in less than a year. And when he returned, he felt sharper, more dangerous than ever. And he has been skyrocketing.
Dude, that's
ever
crazy.
Since.
In less than a year?
Pro Wrestling Freshman is about believing in somebody for the long haul, seeing them at a very young age and seeing all the potential that they have to be one of the game changers in the professional wrestling industry, not just in a year, but in 5 years and 10 years. Starboy Charlie is going to be a name that you know about for the next 10 years.
He's going to be a star for sure. Like, you know, you can put him on AEW TV. He's going to be a star. Like, honestly. Like, he already has...
High school hallway.
So, Billy Starks, one of my favorites right now. One of my favorite young wrestlers right now. And, you know, her little feud that she had with Mercedes Moné, I think that was when I was a fan more. Like, that put me onto Billy Starks. And, ever since then, I just became a very big fan of Billy Starks. I believe that she has a lot of star power. And I believe maybe in the next year or so, I could see her possibly win the TBS championship in AEW. But, hey, if they push her right, she's going to be amazing.
Ways to AEW arenas. This is not a maybe. This is a win. This is a guarantee. This is Billy Starks. For hardcore wrestling fans, Billy Starks is a name that they've been aware of for years, making herself a focal point of the independent scene. As a high schooler, Stark was signed to Ring of Honor, where she was the inaugural television champion, defeating Queen Aminata and scaring everyone in the process, faking an injury that 100% scared me shitless as I saw this live. I thought I just watched this great potential young wrestler's career end. So, potential Oscar in her wake as well. She was doing all of this before she was out of her teens, finishing high school and now going into college. There can't be any test than wrestling at Forbidden Door. There's an argument that Starks is the biggest name on this list, as she's already been ranked over Bianca Belair in last year's PWI Women's Top 150. She's being mentored by Athena in Ring of Honor and has even faced Mercedes Moné on Dynamite. Billy's been on AEW pre-show pay-per-views. Billy has been the main event at the Hammerstein Ballroom for Ring of Honor, and she hasn't even been able to celebrate with champagne. She'd have to settle for sparkling water. At 20 years old, Billy Starks is a balls-to-the-wall type of wrestler, as fans have already begun to mention how every move in Billy's arsenal is basically kill or be killed. Wrestling style has this reckless charm to it, but she also can showcase that she is very much a student of this game.
Tough.
She has been studying from what feels like quite literally day one of her life. Starks is not the if, she is the when. When is she going to be put on AEW as a mainstay and one of the biggest pieces of the television show? I would imagine 2025 is going to be a big year for Billy Starks as she continues to break out, and we are going to see more gold around her waist, and maybe she finally defeats Athena.
Yo. If we see Billy Starks versus Athena again in 2025, like, I feel like that's going to be her breakout moment as to her becoming, you know, a main star like in AEW or Ring of Honor. Like, I believe she should win the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship from Athena. I think it should be Billy Starks. Next up, we got, oh my gosh. Yo. Luke Jacobs. This is Luke Jacobs. Now, yo. Oh my gosh. I'm just gonna let it play. He's
obviously a major
he
theme
is
of
a
this video is talking about the
beast.
British wrestling resurgence. You're probably already tired of hearing about how much I'm talking about British wrestlers, but that is how important and how much this scene is on fire right now. Luke Jacobs is currently at the top of the scene. But let me throw it over to somebody with a wealth of knowledge about Luke Jacobs, my guy, Wavy Eddie.
Hey, my boy. Hey, let's go, bro. Look at me. Yeah. Look at that hat. That hat's a little crooked, but listen. Hey, I did a lot of knowledge. I did a lot of research on Luke Jacobs, and I was already a fan before I did all the research. But when I did the research, man, he's one of my favorites now. He's one of my favorites. I don't care. My stock is on him. My stock is on Luke Jacobs. And I'm looking at the camera right now. If you don't follow Luke Jacobs this year, or possibly by the end of the year, next year, you're not allowed. You are not allowed on the Luke Jacobs train. All right? Listen. All the passengers are coming through. We got a waiting list now. The queue is up. The queue is coming. Luke Jacobs is going to be a world champion pretty soon. He's going to be a big star pretty soon. All right, he's already a world champion in Progress Wrestling. But when he gets signed to that major company, it's wraps. It's wraps for everybody. Luke Jacobs is next up. That's all I got to say. Now I'm going to let myself yap for a little bit on this video because, listen, again, he's become one of my favorite wrestlers right now. Look at that Carhartt hoodie that he got. One of these freshmen in this list, Luke Jacobs, should be that guy. He is a current Progress Wrestling World Champion, and when I tell y'all the things that he's accomplished at such a young age, the sky is the limit for him, Facts. bro. And to quote Jacob Fatu a little bit, yes, Luke Jacobs can really fight. Yes. And he will dog walk anybody that is stepping in his way in the future, bro. And there's a couple of matches I want you guys to watch from Luke Jacobs. It is Luke Jacobs versus Will Ospreay at Rev Pro 2023, which is where he solidified himself as a star in British wrestling. I would also say watch a lot of the matches that he's had with Michael Oku, either at Rev Pro 12-year anniversary 2024 or in 2022 Summer Sizzler, bro.
W research.
These guys get in the ring.
W research.
They cook, bro. That's all I gotta say. Another match I recommend you guys to watch is Luke Jacobs versus Leon Slater. Yes. And I hope that a major company like New Japan Pro Wrestling picks him up, because I believe once he travels to Japan and goes to New Japan Pro Wrestling, he's going to become an absolute star to be reckoned with. Yes. So invest in your stock in Luke Jacobs right now. That's all I gotta say. Listen, Luke Jacobs is here for the... He's here. He's going to take over the world. And when it comes to New Japan Pro Wrestling, or if WWE signs him, you know, hey, bro, like, just be ready. Just be ready. We're going to get that Gunther Luke Jacobs match soon, because he reminds me a lot of Gunther. He gives me Gunther William Regal vibes, but he's also got, you know, his own style that fits him, you know, and just invest your stock in Luke Jacobs.
Jacobs not only has the pressure of elevating all of England, he is constantly getting compared to one of the biggest wrestlers right now in the industry.
Facts.
Progress World Champion, Progress Atlas Champion, the chops, the looks, they are very similar, to be fair. But Jacobs is his own man, and he stood tall.
I didn't mention this. Watch his match with Tomohiro Ishii. Watch Luke Jacobs versus Tomohiro Ishii.
And classics with Will Ospreay, Michael Oku, Tomohiro Ishii. But Jacobs isn't selling a character. He is selling believability, as every single move you believe hurts. And believability might be the most underrated currency in professional wrestling. Will we ever get that dream match with Gunther? Only time will tell.
One of the biggest stars
Steel
on
is
here,
the
bro.
real deal, but let my guy TJ Gatsby tell you why she was the #1 pick for WWE's ID program.
Now, when we talk
Shout out
about
to TJ, bro.
breakout stars and the future of the business, the person who should be at the forefront of these conversations is none other than Zeta Steel, a WWE ID prospect. Only 3 years in the game.
Yep.
She's appeared on Evolve already. We've seen her in clips on NXT, whether it was in the audience or little backstage segments. Because while the rest of y'all out there keep doubting the real deal Zeta Steel, we gonna be right here at the forefront, making sure everybody knows the name
Facts.
of the future
Facts.
of women's wrestling.
Listen, Zeta Steel, when I tell y'all, she's gonna be on that level of Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley. Maybe in the next 5 years. She's only 3 years into this, bro. And she was the #1 prospect of WWE ID. She's on Evolve a lot. I'm just repeating what TJ said, but listen, Zeta Steel is the real deal. The real deal Zeta Steel. Like, she is amazing. And shout out to TJ for putting that out there, because I mean, we are seeing a lot of haters, a lot of Zeta Steel haters that don't really believe in her ability. And bro, honestly, y'all can get that shit out the door, bro. Because if y'all don't realize greatness when you see it, then at that point, I'm questioning what y'all see as greatness. Because what I see as greatness is Zeta Steel. And I believe she's on that level that Liv Morgan, that Bianca, that Rhea Ripley are in the future. Not now, but in the future, she's going to be on that level. And let me shut up, because we're going to get into one of my favorite Spanish wrestlers right now. And you know me, like, I'm a very big fan of Spanish wrestlers. I support all Hispanics. You know, I support a bunch of people from Spain. I support a bunch of Latin American wrestlers. And, yo, I'm just proud to see a person from Spain be in this list, because not just because he's from Spain, but bro, he's earned this. Like, I'm just gonna shut up and let y'all know who Sasaya really is, but listen, he's gonna be another guy that I say y'all better invest your stocks in Sasaya for sure.
Aus Madrid, Spanien.
Oh, wrestling wonder kid. Facts.
The best young footballer in the world is Lamine Yamal, coming from Barcelona. But the best young wrestler, there's an argument,
Yeah, maybe.
he comes from Madrid. This
I fuck with Lamine
is
Yamal.
Josiah, the ace of Spain. While Spain's top flag bearer may be Axiom currently,
Yep.
Josiah is right behind
Yo,
him.
these two
There's a term in football,
are carrying
soccer, called a
Spain,
wonder
Spanish
kid.
wrestling.
Somebody that
For
is
sure.
destined for greatness at a very young age. Somebody that is going to be a world-class player, has all of the tools to be
Facts.
the face of the sport. There is no better word to describe Josiah than pro wrestling's wonder kid. 6'3", extremely young, and constantly putting on the best match on the card, night in and night out. Coming from
his
Spain,
ability-
Josiah is now making
his
a name
ability
for
is
himself in the
insane.
UK. Josiah actually started training in Ireland at the age of 15 because Triple W, the biggest Spanish promotion, would not allow wrestlers to train under the age of 16. Apply what he learned in Ireland to become the best in Spain. And now, in the UK, he has proven that he is just as good as anybody that comes from the country.
Yep.
So Zaya is one that you kind of categorize as a perfect wrestler. The babyface fire that he has, the comeback ability that he has, they're top notch. I'd love to see some more promos or just interviews out of Josiah just to see more of his personality. However, the stamina and cardio and in-ring ability that he's proven in multiple 60-minute matches has displayed his potential to be the next iconic bell-to-bell wrestler on the indies, being synonymous with the names of Bryan Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr., and Kenny Omega. I'm not saying that he's there yet, but I see it. And I see him being the flag bearer for Spain, a scene that is currently beginning to bubble. It might not have the buzz and infrastructure at the moment of an England, a France, Germany, but there's something there. There's something that's being built there with the likes of Axiom and Josiah. Dude has already had a tryout with WWE, and look, I'm no WWE scout, but there is no shot that I am letting this kid leave without a contract in his hand. Time will tell if WWE sees what I see in him, but if they do, in 2025 or 2026, you will likely see the name Josiah in the best matches of the year lists for the WWE. That's it.
Now, I do agree with what he said about like the whole we need to see him more in interviews and stuff, because we haven't seen a lot of Josiah's charisma, and we haven't really seen a lot of his like personality being shown throughout his career. And I believe it's not holding it back, but if he really wants to be on that big stage level, I think we should see more interviews from him, more promos, and just show his personality a little bit. And he's like that diamond in the rough kind of guy, in my opinion. He's there's a lot of potential there. And if you work with the tools that he's got, he's only going to get better, in my opinion.
That's the list. I am so proud of this list. I am so thankful for everyone that helped me work on this. There is a ton of credit that I want to give to all of them for making this list possible. And I want to reiterate how difficult it was to make this list, because I did not want to cut out so many wrestlers. We could have made 11 totally different wrestlers, and the list still would have been great and valid. Just to name a few for potential for next year, or just ones to look out for as well. Lena Cross in Anglais Blanc and Mr. Hype Kuro in France are truly changing that entire country's.
Anglais Blanc needs to be there for sure. I'm going to make a case for Anglais Blanc to be on that, bro. Honestly, he might be too big. I don't know, but look, I'm going to make a case for Anglais Blanc to be on next year's list, bro.
Wrestling scene. LJ Cleary has been one that we're waiting to see him blow up on a bigger stage. Mike DiViochi. Hey, this is Editor Johnny screaming at YouTube Johnny on why the hell I pronounce his name like that. It's Mike DiVecchio, and you should learn his name very, very soon, because he just actually signed with WWE along with Anglais Blanc, and it looks like Josiah. All three of those dudes, I think, could have big years. Anglais Blanc and Mike D expect to be a part of the list next year, if you're not already too big, which I think Mike D actually might be. Anyways, back to the video. I think that he has all of the looks of the next big, super impressive athletic powerhouse.
That was kind of funny.
Somebody like, I guess, like a cross between probably like a Brock Lesnar and a Brian Cage. Golden Boy Santos could be huge. I really like the personality.
Bro, Shawn Legacy?
High on amazing on the
Shawn
Legacy.
Legacy?
Myla Grace just got signed
next
to TNA.
year's list is going to be fire,
big
bro.
Things for her next year. Alex Windsor, obviously, she's huge.
I'm going to make a case for Shawn Legacy as well.
There's so many good wrestlers, and there's so many different wrestlers.
Shout out to Shawn Legacy.
In full transparency, I kind of lost a little bit of fire just watching WWE and AEW. A lot of stuff has just kind of felt bland to me at times. Like there's always the Hangman stuff that I love, or a Will Ospreay. But for a lot of the stuff, it's just kind of made me disinterested a little bit in wrestling. And I go to New Japan, while there is stuff I like, it's really been this process that has brought out the fire in me for my love of professional wrestling and finding these talents that I didn't know about. People like Lena Cross or people like Mao. And that's what this list is about. It's about seeing the trajectory and seeing the stories and seeing how these wrestlers grow, because I truly believe that we are going to see some of these wrestlers headline All In, that they're going to headline Wrestle Kingdom. They're going to headline WrestleMania one day. So if you have not watched these lads or lasses, go out of your way today, tomorrow, and the next one to go watch some of their matches, promos, interviews, because soon they are going to be your favorite wrestler. Deuces.
Hey, bro, this was a fire video. Like Johnny said, y'all better get to watching these wrestlers that are on this list. I already told y'all, watch Luke Jacobs. All right, I made a case for Luke Jacobs this year, and I did as much research as I can to make sure y'all get tuned in into Luke Jacobs, and y'all should. You know, he's gonna be a big star when he gets signed to that big company, either WWE, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Y'all better get invested right now. Now, this was a fun video, guys. Like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you guys want to see next. And hey, Wavy Eddie out.
Caballeros, I'm the king like I'm George Strait at the rodeo.